Today, I'll be introducing our speaker, someone who is familiar to us because she is one of our prize members, Keely Jones, who is the Business Development Director at Brookdale Senior Living. She was sponsored by Chip Ince, and Keely is the business development director of the Greater Houston and Sugarland market, and has worked in the marketing and advertising industry for a number of years with skills in sales, team building, management, direct sales, and sales presentation. She is focused in project management from the Project Management Institute, and is also a member of the Adult Protective Services Board, the LGBTQ Seniors of Houston Council, and is an incoming member of the Board of Directors of the Memorial Spring Branch Rotary. It is our pleasure to introduce Keely Jones. Keely?
Thank you all. It is a pleasure to be with you all and share the good news of Brookdale and what we are all about. Brookdale Senior Living is senior hospitality. Our mission statement is that we enrich the lives of those we serve with compassion, respect, excellence, and integrity. And why would someone choose living? Because Brookdale has been helping older adults navigate the challenges of aging for over 40 years. Every year, out of 840 communities nationwide, Brookdale copes with the influenza, the neurovirus, and other health risks to older adults. So when the first recorded case of COVID-19 hit the United States, we had already established protocols to navigate those infectious disease outbreaks. Brookdale started testing our residents and associates as early as March 2020. We believe that our efforts have been effective in trying to help mitigate the virus, with less than 1% of our residents as of July 31st were confirmed positive cases of the virus. Brookdale has already scheduled and completed 100% of our communities nationwide with vaccinations partnered with CVS. We were recognized by J.D. Power and Associates for #1 in customer satisfaction for assisted living and memory care during the pandemic year. Brookdale Senior Living Talent Management Department has also joined an elite group. We were included in the Training Magazine's 2021 Training Top 100 list. And this magazine audience, it includes learning and development leaders from around the country. Also, the Raise Family Caregivers Act was passed in 2018. And this was a calling for development and national strategy to recognize and support the more than 40 million family caregivers. Brookdale is the only senior living corporation that has created our large employer group partnership with several large publicly traded companies of large alumni base, as well as healthcare accounts. Anyone who has worked or has a close family member who has worked with any of our large employer groups can receive a Brookdale benefit of a forever 7.5% discount off of their base service rate, plus a 10% off of any personal care services that they may need. Brookdale created SI units when COVID first hit, and the intended purpose of this was to separate the residents who have tested positive from those who are not, which also helped keep the spread very low within our communities. We have 2 SI units located in Houston out of our 18 community markets. We also invested in this product called TheraWorks, which anybody can purchase this on Amazon. Therefore, that Amazon smile can benefit if you guys go on there and order it. But this supports your skin natural antimicrobial burial system. It's a non-alcohol based system, and it can be used in multiple areas. So this is a barrier that you would put on your, arms, your face, and it lasts over 12 hours. It has also proven to be effective because last year when we had the hurricane, we had to evacuate 100 residents or so from the Beaumont community into Houston. And so there was absolutely no social distancing going on. We were picking up residents and helping them move, and everybody used this product, and we did not have one case of COVID-19 come out of that evacuation and relocation. Brookdale weather emergency plans. Our communities do have backup generators. We also keep a water supply at all of our communities, and we keep it stocked and evaluated on a quarterly basis, as well as up to 7 days of food supply for our residents. We offer monthly and quarterly drills for our associates as well as our residents for emergency trainings. And we also have emergency teams in place that will move in and stay with our community, stay at the community with the residents during those emergency storms. So it's an A team and a B team. So the A team would move in first, ride out the storm, and then the B team comes in to relieve them and to rotate to ensure our residents' safety and well-being. Our whole focus on engagement is the optimum life philosophy. We believe that purposeful engagement provides motivation and improves well-being. Emotional purposes, we all know that happiness and joy lead to better life. Physical exercise helps our residents stay healthy and functional. Good social connections are vital to health in older adults. Spiritual wellness brings life meaning. And we know that brain health supports by challenging and new learning. Here is several photos of how we were able to help our residents stay engaged during the pandemic year. You can see some outside croquet being played over at our Heights community. Here at the bottom, this is a front porch visit with them socially distanced with a resident and a family member. We had the car parades driving through. Some of the communities may have chickens, and this is at our Heights also. They actually have a whole chicken farm, and they donate eggs to different food pantries. And we try to have a lot of fun within our communities. These are the different Brookdale communities that are within my district. Again, we do have 18 communities within the Houston market. In my district, there are 9. I support these 6 here. So we have Brookdale The Heights, which is an assisted living and memory care community. In our West Houston market, we have Brookdale Spring Shadows, Memorial Oaks, and Shadow Lake. And then in our Sugarland market, we have Brookdale Sugarland, which is an assisted living, and Brookdale First Colony is our independent living for those residents that are 55 and older active adults. Brookdale is a wide range of services from, front to back. We can provide Brookdale at Home, which is a companion service. So if you have a loved one who, is just lonely and needs some companionship, or maybe over and just cook some hot meals for you, we can provide that service. We also do Brookdale Therapy. We have home health, independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, as well as Brookdale Hospice. Why and how would you refer someone to Brookdale? Well, there is several different Brookdale benefits, but I just listed a few here. We do require a one-time community fee when you move into any of our communities. However, once you pay that community fee, you become a Brookdale family member. That community fee becomes transferable to any Brookdale community nationwide. So maybe your adult child decides to move to another state for a work opportunity and they want mom and dad to join. we would be able to help find a Brookdale location in another state, and they would not be subject to pay that upfront fee again. It would transfer with them. We also offer a Friends for Life program. So if any of our residents refer another resident to our Brookdale communities at any of our communities, it does not have to be the same one that that current resident lives in, then they would receive a $3,000 incentive off their next month rent after that resident moves into the community. We also offer elder law financial services. And so you may have a situation where someone may have a little bit of assets, but they really don't have the upfront money to be able to pay that community fee and the first month's rent to be able to move in. So Elder Law Financial Service offers a bridge loan to those our residents and families. Brookdale will pay the interest on that loan. And then when you sell your home or whatever, then you can pay that loan back. That is all I have for you right now. Does anyone have any questions? I will stop sharing.
Well, let me ask you a question. I would assume, based upon what you said, that last week when things began to go south with power and water, that your systems kicked in and things were okay.
You know, we did have our generators kick in. There may have been a time or two that a generator ran out of gas, so we had to go hunt for diesel fuel. So there may have been a time that it was out while we were replenishing the gas. We did have a couple of our communities have some sprinklers bust, the sprinkler system. But for the most part, somehow, luckily, they happened in vacant apartments or in like a hallway. So it didn't really affect any of our residents directly. But for the most part, our communities did very well throughout the storm.
Good.
So we were truly blessed, to say the least.
Well,
and we are right now, we are accepting short-term stays. So if you know of someone who is still looking for plumbing parts, they still don't have water, or maybe their furniture got all messed up and they need it restored and they just need a temporary place to stay, all of our communities are accepting a minimum of 10 days just to help those people have a safe, warm, comfortable place to stay while they get their house repaired.
Yeah. Let me ask you another thing. If, with regard to physician associations, if do your facilities assist families in locating, let's say, primary care physicians or internists if they don't have a suitable physician or they're maybe moving into Houston from another city?
Absolutely. If you're a resident moving into any of our communities, of course, you have the option to stay with your primary if you already have one. However, all of our communities do offer visiting physicians. Some of these physicians also, say like yourself, you still live at home, I can refer them to you and they will actually come into your home. But we do all have visiting physicians at all of the communities, and it's usually about 2 or 3 different options. Some of them may accept one insurance that the other one doesn't. So we make sure we have a good choice and selection for our residents to be able to choose from. And then, of course, we can also provide any type of mobile services come into our community. So we have optometrists come in, we have dentists come in, physicians, labs, x-rays. There is even they're called dispatch, but they are basically an ER. They're a mobile ER that will come into your home that we have a partnership with. So there are plethora of health services provided just at your choice of whatever you need. We are able to provide that for you in our communities. And if you, like I said, and if you're at home and you need some services, then you would reach out to me and I can help you get those services in your home.
Okay. Jorge.
Keely, how do you interact with Chip and company? How do you two work together?
Chip, so when I met Chip, he used to, before I was in this role, I was a sales manager at our Memorial Oaks community. And Chip used to come to my networking breakfast I hosted every month. And so he is a home health service. He provides the medical assistance in the home as well as companionship in the home of those who are not necessarily ready to move into a community such as mine. So he is kind of like the step before you would move into one of our communities.
Gotcha. Thanks.
We have any other questions? Well, now I think that if you want, I know that in talking to Chip, and I will mention that one of my personal clients resides in a facility and is assisted by one of the ladies that works with Chip.
Mhm.
And I believe that Chip has indicated that your facilities are among the better ones with regard to COVID care. And whereas unfortunately, the facility where my client is located, which I won't name, but is one of the more high dollar facilities, but has had more problems with COVID than any other facility in town. And so that, you know, has a very, uh, that is a very real issue as to not only the protocol, but the safety measures that are taken.
And, again, I think it is because one, we have opportunity with having so many communities in Houston that we were able to, again, create those special isolation units to be able to keep the separation of the positive and the negative cases. So in that sense, we're very fortunate to be able to have that opportunity to offer that to our residents, as well as testing. We were doing monthly testing, starting, like I said, all the way back in March of last year. And, like I said, now we've already completed all of the vaccinations. And the way that we set that up is we actually had 3 different clinics at each community. So the people had the opportunity to get the first shot on the first clinic, but if they weren't sure about it, they had the opportunity when everyone was getting their second shot to get their first shot. And then we had a 3rd clinic for those to be able to get their second shot at that time. If a person decided to get their first shot on the 3rd clinic, we would do it, and then we would give them a pass to go to CVS to receive their second shot within the 2-week time frame or 3-week time frame, whatever it was.
All right.
So there's been lots of planning all the way up. Our corporate office is in Tennessee, and so it just trickles down from there. And we, again, we are the largest and the oldest, should I say, senior living corporation, being one of the first. And I think with just all the experience year after year, we were able to really utilize that skill during the pandemic.
Well, it would seem as though having the ability to network and have a number of facilities to work with, as opposed to being a standalone facility, would allow you resources that others might not have.
Exactly.
But anyway, any other questions for Keely? Well, thank you very much. That's very interesting. We're delighted to have that presentation, and I think it's something that all of us needed to know about and hear.
Well, and if any of you are interested in visiting any of the communities, we can do virtual visits if you don't want to go out, but we are in some of the communities starting to do in-person visits. So if anybody's interested in actually seeing what one looks like or not, I'd be happy to help show you around 1 or 2 of them.
All right.
Jorge's outreach center sits pretty much between two of my communities. He's kind of right in the middle of two of them.
Well,
So-
and,
I am avoiding being one of your residents as long as I can.
well, and you've
Right.
got one located over here near where we live, which is on Buffalo Speedway near 59. So,
Yep, it's a Brookdale West University. That's an independent living community.
right.
Actually, the first community that I started in 10 years ago. I've been with the company now for 10 years, and that was my first opportunity with Brookdale, was at the West University location.
All right.
I started out there as a sales counselor.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent.
Well,
Well,
yeah, I do have one kind of side question. If somebody came to you and said, listen, I need home health care for a family member, do you have a list of like to-go places that are already vetted, that are bonded for people to come in? Because I know many years ago when I had to get somebody to live with my mother, that was the worst process to go through, trying to find people that were trustworthy. And we ended up doing a criminal background check on one who looked wonderful and found out it was not a good fit at all.
Wow. Absolutely, yes. When somebody comes to me for different services, of course, I will always offer, a Brookdale Home Health, but at the same time, I will also offer, 2 or 3 choices of great partners that we have, like such as Chip or, some other partner that I know and really trust in. And I encourage our families to kind of shop them. It may be a price difference or, chemistry is also a big deal when you're talking about home health. You want your loved one to feel comfortable with who's taking care of them. And so I do always offer 2 or 3 trusted partners. So if you ever have that situation again, I would be happy to definitely hand over some great opportunities and people who I know and trust very well. And we are also pet friendly. I did leave that out. So we will also help take care of your puppies and cats and birds if you have those. And we also provide pet care within your care plan. So if you're unable to even walk the dog anymore, we will be the one to come in every day to walk your dog 2 or 3 times and make sure it's fed. And full service, it's hospitality to the finest.
I would say, do y'all take care of snakes and monkeys? Because Dr. Hadlin doesn't take care of those.
Those may be questionable. I'm sure I might have to get approval. But
Okay.
we are a yes company. We
Okay.
say yes. So
All
we will try to find a way.
All right. Wayne Shopper had a question. Wayne?
Is there a difference between Eagles Trace and your organization?
Yes. The biggest difference from my understanding with Eagles Trace is they are a buy-in community. So you would have probably paid a large lump sum when you first moved into that community, to where Brookdale are rental. You pay a much smaller community fee than the buy-in, and it's just a monthly rent. So if I'm not mistaken, at Eagles Trace, you're going to pay a couple $100,000 up front, to where with us, typically it's about a $2,500 fee and then your monthly rents.
And what is your monthly rent?
Within, starting from our independent living and going up, in our independent living full service, you can start around $1,800 a month. Our assisted livings typically start around $3,000, depending on your need, and can go all the way up, say in my Galleria, up to $8,000 or $9,000, depending on what your need is, what size of apartment you want. So it just really depends, but we really have a wide range to fit everyone's budget for the most part.
Is one of your facilities in Spring Branch?
Yes, sir. We actually have Bill and Bill Haglin. You'll have to remind me, the district governor that lived, or I think he still lives there, or not, over at the.
Dennis Adams, but he passed away in November.
Oh, did he? Yes. So we do. It's off Western and Kempwood.
I'm sorry, you broke up. Off
Dennis
Silver?
Adams lived there from probably, I think, December or so of 19, maybe January of 20, passed away in November of 20, not of COVID, but of other problems, leukemia, malignant myeloma.
So that community, it's Brookdale Spring Shadows, and it is located at Gessner and Kempwood.
Right, okay, thank you.
It's right across the street from Northbrook Middle School, Wayne.
Yeah,
Well, it's the old Mininger Clinic.
that's news to me. Look at that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other questions that you can think of here? Well, again, Keely, we thank you for that. And
Thank
if you have any questions whatsoever about not only today but in the future, I would encourage you to route them to Keely or to Chip, either one, because I have found both of them to be very knowledgeable in their field, and they will give you a straight, honest opinions as to the subject matter, and I think you'd be very pleased with their counsel and wisdom.